Hello, Miss. I am Sandara Jinorgada and this is my assignment number 3 in national income. So to start with, I am going to define the following. First is GDP or the gross domestic product. So GDP is the total market value of all final goods and services produced within a country's borders in a given period. So for example, a car manufactured in Philippines in 2024 is part of the Philippine GDP. Next is the GNP or the gross national product. So GNP is the total market value of all final goods and services produced by a country's residents regardless of the location. So for example, income earned by a Filipino working in the US is included in the Philippines GNP. Next is exports. So exports are goods and services produced domestically and sold to foreign countries. So for example, bananas grown in the Philippines and sold to Japan. Next is imports. So imports are goods and services purchased from other countries. So for example, mobile phones purchased by the Philippines from South Korea. Next is the net exports. So net exports is equals to exports minus imports. So it measures the value of a country's exports minus its imports. So for example, if the Philippines exports 100 million and imports 80 million, therefore the net exports is 20 million. Then for the second question, differentiate GDP from GNP. So GDP or the gross domestic product focuses on location. It includes all production within a country's borders regardless who produces it. While on the other hand, or the GNP or the gross national product focuses on ownership. It includes production by a country's residents regardless where it occurs. So for example, a Japanese company producing cars in Philippines is part of the Philippine GDP, not GNP. Then a Filipino earning income in Canada contributes the Philippine GNP, not the GDP. Then for the third question, differentiate exports from imports and net imports. So exports are goods or services sold abroad, increases national income. So for example, mangoes exported from Philippines to South Korea. Then for the imports, these are the goods and services bought from abroad. So resources which reduces national income. So for example, electronics imported from Japan. Then for the net exports or the NX, difference between exports and imports. So as what I have said earlier, that the formula for net exports is equals to exports minus imports. So for example, if exports is equals to 500 million, for example, if exports is equals to 500 million, then imports is equals to 400 million. Therefore, we have net exports of a total of 100 million. And for the fourth question, what are the methods in computing GDP? Then what are the formula for each method? So first we have the expenditure approach, where C is equals to consumption, G is equals to government spending, I is equals to investment, X is equals to exports, M is equals to imports. Then for the income approach, where W is equals to wages, R is equals to rent, I is equals to interest, P is for profit, T is for taxes, then S is for subsidies. Then for the third method or approach, we have the production or the value-added approach. So this method adds the value added at each stage of production. For the fifth question, so state examples of each category in the GDP expenditure approach. So GDP expenditure approach, so for example, G or the government's expenditure, there are three subcategories. First is the capital spendings, example, the road construction, building of public hospitals. Then for the second subcategory, we have the current spending. For example, road repairs and maintenance, salaries of government employees. And for the last one, we have the transfer payments. So for example, the social security, scholarships, and unemployment benefits. And that's all for my assignment number 3. Thank you, Miss.